Serverless is really difficult to define. People think of functions as a service, but then there's also other serverless services too, like DynamoDB or serverless databases that have some traction right now, like say FaunaDB, and so it goes far beyond that. So I think this is a really interesting conversation of defining what serverless even is.
Yeah. So one thing that which I'll sort of introduce here is that one way in which you want to be serverless is that you often also want things to be stateless, in a sense that for it to be horizontally scalable, for it to be spun down, it should not have any state. Otherwise, you might lose data, right? In other words, it needs to be like kind of a pure function. Whatever that item of compute is, it needs to be pure function of like input, you get some output, and that's kind of it. So then there's a question of where do you store the state? And usually it's in some sort of database. But for me, like, one of the things that was really interesting to me was that you have to check in and out of state so much every single time you write logic. Like imagine you provision like 100 different Lambda functions just to model every single bit of your execution that is broken up by something stateful. Something that Temporal does is actually it helps you write all of those things as a single function from top to bottom.